Yeah, so of course I loved Peter from Army of the Dead, but like he was more of a comedic relief in that film. He had never held a gun, never killed zombies before. You know, the relationship between him and Van der Rohe was pretty interesting and very likable. So yeah, I didn't know what to expect with this movie because the trailers for me didn't wow me, but they were pretty good trailers. They were okay. I was always going to watch it anyway. But every Netflix movie, no matter what it is, the marketing isn't the best because that's just the way they do things. But it just shows that it doesn't matter because Army of Thieves is number one in 90 countries right now, worldwide on Netflix. So that's pretty amazing in itself. So whatever they're doing works. But yeah, this film, it's I would say like if you don't like zombies, that's okay because and you didn't like Army of the Dead, that's okay because this film isn't really about zombies. Maybe there's two scenes where they pop up for like 10 seconds or less. That's about it. But overall, it's a heist movie, and maybe deeper, it's a love story. And I think that's what's really different about Army of the Dead. I think people can relate to this a little bit more. Maybe there's more likable characters in this. Because Dieter, when we see Dieter at the start, this is kind of his origin story for who he is. He lives in Germany. I think he works in a bank or an insurance company or something like that. And he lives a very boring life day to day. And, you know, I think many people can relate to that. And basically, this opportunity comes to him where he can start living a more adventurous life. And he's obsessed with these safes created by this man called Hans Wagner. These four safes, which we'll get into as well. You know, the Siegfried, the Rheingold, and the Valkyrie, and then of course the big one in Army of the Dead. But he's obsessed with the man who created these. He knows all the history, and he even has a YouTube channel, and he documents the entire history about these safes. But you know, then this opportunity comes, and he joins this heist team, not to just make money. That's not really what the goal is. And the character of Gwen, who is his love interest in this movie, she comes to him, but it's not really about the money. The money is just a plus. It's about being legends. And it's basically getting outside your comfort zone. You're living a boring life, like many of us probably do, you know, like day to day, the same thing over and over again. I think we can root for Dieter in this movie because he's starting to live a little bit. And that's basically what makes him join this team is to crack these famous safes that he knows everything about them and he has the opportunity to be the first ever person to do this. So yeah, it's a heist movie, but it's not like it makes fun of the heist genre in a way. You know, there's certain things like every single heist film, they go through the heist and they look at what's going to work, what's not going to work, and you kind of get to see them talk it through. Here that happens in this movie as well, but it's done for kind of a joke in a very good way. So I think it's a very nice addition to the genre, and it's different. It's not just shot for shot remake of Ocean's 11 or anything like that. I think this is very different. I think there's deeper stuff to it, and Dieter is such a likable character, such a deep character. It definitely has more going on with him. I think his relationship with Gwen was great. The side characters that are in the heist team are likable as well. They're very fun. I would have liked more screen time with them or for them to do a little bit more, but they're very, very good. There's no overall villain in this movie either. Maybe the biggest weakness is the villain. There's a villain at some point in the movie. It kind of happens. I would think that's a little bit where I was like, oh, that's not as done as well as the rest of the film. The film is directed so well by Matthias, who plays Dieter. He is fantastic at directing. Some of the tricks he uses, some of the one-shot action sequences, I love those. There's a shot where a character jumps through a window, and the way that's done is brilliant. It's like you're the character jumping through the window. That's how well it's done. When you go to a different location, the location named kind of is imprinted into the screen, into the location, into the city, or into the water, or wherever they are. So that was cool, and it's a very colorful movie as well. It's definitely in the Zack Snyder world, the Snyderverse or the Armyverse, whatever you want to call it, but it's a lot more kind of upbeat and brighter than a Snyder film in terms of the way it's directed, and that's good. We don't want the same thing over and over again in this franchise. But yeah, I had such a good time with this. I honestly, after the movie, I was like, what did I not like about this? And it was very little, and I just really, really loved it. And I think Army of the Dead has more rewatch value, but this may be an overall better film in terms of the pacing of it is very, very well done. You know, Zack Snyder likes long movies. His movies are always 2.5 hours plus or whatever. And I love long movies. I love his movies. I love the way he does those. But here, it was what, just over 2 hours, maybe just 2 hours, and the pacing was very well. And the
It was
characters
one
were
and
well
a
done.
half hours.
Was it what? Oh, really? 1.5 hours. Well, there you go. But it's there's so much put into this story, and yeah, it's a really good watch. Definitely, I definitely recommend it. I definitely enjoyed it. I don't think you have to have seen Army of the Dead to get this movie, but it helps if you want to kind of get used to this world. But yeah, it's a fantastic, well made
Oh,
Netflix
never
original
mind. It
movie
was two
because
hours. Yeah.
okay, I was right. Yes, I was right. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. The pacing it felt like an hour and a half of KC because the pacing was so
Yeah.
good. And but it's a Netflix original movie. And Netflix original movies are usually either shit or they're just okay. No, more or less. The shows are brilliant, but the movies are kind of let down at times. This is a this this looks like a theatrical movie. It looks like it should be in theaters.
Yeah, man. Look, I agree with you, but I think I love the movie more than you as well because I thought the movie was done very perfectly. I thought there was nothing he could have improved. Like I do like the villain thing and all that stuff as well because I don't think there's necessarily a villain like you said, and I think it worked the way they did it. And I don't think, look, usually I have some criticisms about certain movies, even the movies that I really, really love. You know, some of the scenes or something can be improved and stuff like that, right? But for this movie, I
Yeah,
literally had zero. And I just loved everything about it, the way it looked, the style of it, the pacing, the direction, the cinematography, the locations, the music. The music is one big part of this movie that everybody loved, and the character perspective and how they focused mainly just on Dieter and the way he sees things. It was done extremely well, man. I just halfway through the movie, I just knew that this was a better movie for me than
yeah,
Army of the Dead. um I just loved it so much, and every little thing, every turn, every story point, every character, every trope and satire satire that they were playing with. um it was really good, and it's funny and enjoyable as well. Like, if you are not deep into this franchise and lore and just want to watch a fun heist movie, this is for you as well. And you get a lot of enjoyment out of it because it's so funny as well. Mainly because of Dieter, but also because of Rubio Fee, who plays Corina. I think she is a really funny character in this movie, and all her jokes, are funny and they land pretty well. There's also this
yeah,
Interpol team which has a detective and the assistant detective duo. That's also really funny throughout the movie, and I just loved the character dynamics and everything, and every aspect of the movie. Um, so without giving away any spoilers, that's what I felt. I thought it was a perfect movie and a really really enjoyable watch. And I agree with you. This is one of the best Netflix films they've put out, and definitely a top tier high quality movie that you can even watch in theaters, or you can enjoy with your friends and stuff. So yeah, I would say it definitely is a worthy watch for any time. And it just elevates your mood. It has all the emotions, the heart, the humor, the aesthetic, the way it looks, the music is amazing. It's an all-round package, I feel.